Chancellor said, I direct an Office of Regional Economic Development, and there, in addition to Jim Gill, Michael Humar, who does our real estate development, is here. Shelley Cadoto, who oversees our operations. I'm going to do this very quickly. Jonathan Miller, who oversees everything else we do daily. Carol Lacey is here, who does our community outreach, and Liz Irwin is our public information officer. So there's many of us here who can give you more information at the close of this. You had a history of our involvement. I want to briefly tell you exactly what we're proposing to do on the real estate, what kind of market opportunities we believe exist in this region that will benefit not just the real estate at Fort Ord, but also the communities surrounding this crescent of the bay. And then just close by telling you what's unique about what we're doing at Fort Ord. The reason I wanted to draw on the map was to sort of tell you where we sit. Now this is a test of my drawing, actually. This is the water. Here's Santa Cruz up here. I guess we're about here. If Moss Landing sits here, Fort Ord is a large piece of real estate that sits at the bottom of this crescent. We consider ourselves at the top. And then, of course, we have all the Monterey Peninsula activities down here. This diagram is one that we've been using since the... You have to have an imagination. There's a great light out here. What's important to us in this diagram is, one, the concept of a crescent that brings together over 18 institutions around the bay doing things in environmental and marine-related teaching and research. Of course, at our end of the bay, we have UC Santa Cruz, our long marine lab. There's additional activity happening at Terrace Point with the California Fish and Game, also at the NOAA Marine Fisheries Lab relocating. So there's some activity at the north end of the bay. At Moss Landing, we also have David Packer's Research Institute. MBARI, Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, has just expanded into a tremendous facility. If you haven't seen it, you should go and see it. And then down a little bit further than Fort Ord, we have, of course, the aquarium. The MBARI Institute was originally there. David Packer invested substantial amounts of money in that. We also have something that's been in this region over 130 years now, I guess, the Stanford Marine Station. Showing Stanford's commitment to this region. In addition, there are military operations, there are no operations, there's a variety of other things happening around this crescent that we referred to. So when we talk about why this piece of real estate at Fort Ord becomes important to all of us, it is actually a place where we can start to attract other activities that complement what's happening around the bay and happening between these institutions around the bay, something that's just started probably most significantly in the last 5 to 8 years, research collaborations between things like the Naval Postgraduate School and MBARI and the University of California. And now we have a piece of real estate that the University of California owns. We currently have about 950 acres. There are additional acres to be conveyed to us. Potentially up to 1,500 acres of land will come into the University of California ownership. About 60% of that, or 600 and something acres, will be habitat that we've managed into perpetuity by our natural reserve system. About 450 will be buildable acres. And on that acreage, what we intend to do is to bring a mix of public and private activities that will complement existing regional institutions and really focus on several different industry activities. And I'll tell you about those in just a minute. One of the things that particularly is unique about this piece of real estate, it sits next to the Marina Airfield, if you know Fort Ord, and the map that Les handed out. But it's also adjacent to the CSU Monterey Bay. And what's really interesting and unique about this, it's one of the few places in the state of California these two institutions have come together adjacent on a piece of real estate, but also working together to try to create teaching and research and an industry complex in one sense that brings value added to this region. The kinds of things we want to do here really bring private industry in a way that hasn't been here, in a way that we hope doesn't turn it into a Silicon Valley, but something that uses the information technologies to help advance the job opportunities and the other P's, environment and education. We're looking at information technologies, the design, the creation, the application, the hardware, the software, the pieces of this that come together and really take advantage of where the world is going with information technologies. We're looking at environmental technology. What kinds of activities can build on the strengths of the deep sea research that MBARI is doing in the canyon off the shore, Naval Postgraduate School, our institution, and others around the bay. Looking at biotechnology. We have Stanford's Hopkins Station that's been doing marine biotech work but also the strengths of the agricultural industry that sits just behind us here in the beautiful Salinas Valley. What kinds of opportunities can we find there? And finally, we're looking at multimedia and entertainment opportunities, how we can bring those two together. And a lot of that's actually happening in this end of the crescent with some of the innovative uses and development of multimedia. We have, the University of California has been funded by the federal government and the Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration funding. We have hired DRI McGraw-Hill, and you may have read about it in our papers up here, to look at these market areas in more depth and really show us, help us see where the competitive advantage of the Monterey Bay is in a global marketplace. Not just selling to who's over the hill, but really looking at the global opportunities for this region to be known and to provide new opportunities for us here. One of the things that uniquely sits on the Monterey Bay, or Monterey Peninsula, is what they're now referring to as the language capital of the world. Defense Language Institute, ATT Language Lines, Monterey Institute for International Studies have brought a real strength of language and cultural awareness to this region. So as we develop forward, we're looking to link into the language and the cultural training opportunities to really move out into the global marketplace. We have several things that we can tell you about. We have land that is undeveloped. We're looking now at how we actually work with the marketplace to bring the development opportunities to this piece of real estate. Congressman Carr's leadership in making what the two universities are doing at Fort Ord first in the country to come through under a conveyance that allows us to bring private and public partnerships together on a piece of real estate gifted to us, in essence, by the federal government is important, and actually has designated this as a model of base reuse. And that's something unique about what's happening here. So in closing, there's many other things I can tell you and answer questions, but it is a model of base reuse. It's being looked at nationally as the way to approach this, and the progress we're making is being watched at all levels. It is unique in that UC and CSU are working together, but also the other institutions around the Bay come into play. So we call our effort Monterey Bay Education, Science, and Technology Center. We really look at it as a multi-institutional effort, something that will add value to all the institutions around the region. It's building on the regional strengths. There's something in it for each of the communities around the Bay. And one of the challenges we sort of leave this group with is what kinds of things does this end of the crescent want from this activity, and how can we work with you to help position that? And I think the last unique thing is we're banana slugs up here. Down there, one of our endangered species is a legless lizard. And that wasn't intended, but